Welcome to Big Red Leads. I'm Big Red, getting you and your business back to the black. Today, can't stop the hustle. I don't know why that hit me. It just hit me. It is what it is. But I actually want to talk about your interactions that you're having with your circle. Um, we're going to go a little deeper on this particular subject matter today. Um, Part of the reason I'm even speaking on this is there is a lot of misinformation about the understanding of what it is to get into it or get into arguments or engage in negative energy from people you know. The negative Nancy's, if you will. Like, they always have something negative to say about what you're doing or what you're engaging in or someone in the circle. What do we do about this? What do we do about this? Understand, just because somebody gives you an invitation to a party for an argument doesn't mean you have to accept. Let me say it again. Just because somebody sends you an invitation to argue at a party does not mean you have to accept it. You can decline. I decline to argue. We're not talking about walking away from a problem or an issue that you're having. We're talking about walking away from someone who is problematic in resolution, in conflict resolution, doesn't understand that two men can come together and actually resolve things with words, and it does not have to go immediately to a physical altercation just because someone is being a little bit more emotional or they're just in a space of I'm just going to disagree just to be disagreeing. Argumentative, like to the point where people stop talking and things happen. There's no need for this energy to be expanded upon or even allowing it to grow into something that ends up being a blow up and people end up fighting. A lot of times, what happens with most folks, they either don't want the smoke or they don't want anything to do with it. However, if someone is being just naturally aggressive in this space, sometimes it has to go there. Sometimes. But rarely is that the case. Conflict resolution skills and the ability to resolve these things and resolve these issues, it can be done in a respectful manner. It can be done in a way that neither side is necessarily losing face. But understand this. If I have done something wrong to someone else, I have to put myself in a position and be willing to acknowledge that what was done wrong. Most people can't even get to that point. I don't know why. There's pride, there's ego, there's you don't want to lose face. Like, I get all that. But at some point, the maturity level within yourself has to reach a level where it's like, I don't need to be getting in physical altercations for nothing. We're not talking about protecting someone outside of yourself. We're not talking about even protecting ourselves in this sense. In most cases, that's exactly what it is. They're protecting their ego. It got bruised. Their pride was hurt. Like I said, and you're talking about your feelings being hurt and things of that nature. Your feelings are your feelings. Your feelings are going to move you in directions, whether it be good or bad for you. Now, the action that you take after you feel that way, that's totally up to the individual. But understand, there's consequences that come from that. and not just taking a moment and counting down, even just for 5 seconds, just counting down to yourself and letting that, whatever that emotion that you're feeling at that time, letting it subside and even out. And understanding that we can engage in this conversation. I was wrong for what I did. Own up to it. I have to take ownership for the things that, the actions that I took that have possibly put someone in a position to where they feel less than themselves. And that's okay. That's okay. It's okay to apologize and say that, hey, I was wrong. I messed up on this. And it's not that this person is checking you or you're checking them. It's just, let's just have the conversation. There's no need to keep going through this life and then things being awkward because there are things that were left unsaid. Resolve it. Truly resolve it. It can be done respectfully. So why do we continue to move in this pattern of being combative when this is not about combat? Certain places and spaces, these result in the worst result or the end result. One, you're not vibrating at your highest frequency anyway. If you're continuing to operate that I'm going to fight every time someone disagrees with me or hurts my pride or ego. What is it costing you to do this? To simply say, hey, I need to check myself at the door. Hey, can I speak to you? Can we have a conversation? This is what grown men do. Now, if you're still moving in a boyish posture, I get it. Emotions run high, temperature check just to see where somebody's at. There's always a moment in space, in time, in this span of this moment where you could just be checking someone's temperature. See where they are. Now, if this is somebody you don't know, why would you be arguing with a stranger anyway? But 9 times out of 10, 90% of the time, it's actually like 92% of the time, most arguments and disagreements that are going to happen with somebody that you know. So you know what's going to push somebody over that edge. And if you don't, you cannot sit up here and call this person someone that you really, truly have an understanding of. Because like-minded and like spaces, everybody's going to react in a certain way. There are certain places that you know what it is. This is the business over here. Like, we do not want to go there and be disrespectful intentionally to upset someone to where their reaction is going to be something that is not going to be pleasant for the whole. So if you learn how to resolve these conflicts and really dig down deep and understand, okay, take ownership of your part, the opposite party, believe it or not, will respect that a little bit more. Even if they haven't reached the highest plateau of maturity in themselves, they can respect that. Because no one wants to be out here doing it. I mean, even trained boxers, people who have trained in combat sports, these are the people who are less likely to get in physical altercations just due to the fact that that's not what it's about. They have the discipline to train themselves and put themselves in position so that they're not reacting to anything. They are responding to the things that are going on. And if it has to go there, they're going to go all the way there so that this individual that they're having this issue with, they never do it again. They never do it again. I mean, I've known a few people in my 40 plus years on the planet that Every time they see this other person, they immediately jump into a fight. Like, there's no word spoken, simply because neither one of them has reached a level of maturity to simply say, why are we fighting? And they're both older than me. Now, they have kids of their own. One of them is actually a grandfather. Now, is this something, this behavior, this attitude, this lack of maturity, is this what you want to show as an example to your grandchildren? It's just a question. These microaggressions, these little passive aggressive little jabs, if you will, little darts that people like to throw. They think that that's okay because no one has checked them about this. And I'm not saying you've got to walk around with an attitude as if I have to check everybody and anybody who says anything that crosses me. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about being in the space and understanding that it's okay to disagree. It's okay to not be in alignment with what's going on if we're building something and working on something together as a group. That's totally okay. But it does not have to go to a physical altercation just simply because it seems cool. Or you disrespected me. At what point do you okay, I got to grow out. I got to grow out of this. This behavior cannot continue to be tolerated from myself. No one's telling you to accept disrespect. I'm not saying that. But at the same time, put yourself in the other person's shoes for just a moment. What is it? What action occurred that would bring that person to this point? If there is a sliver of their reaction was due to what was done to them on behalf of your actions, you should apologize. Trust me, all it takes is just a piling on and not resolving these issues. Because let's say they got into a fight with their wife or their husband prior. They're taking that, plus then you come along, you disrespect them, and it's a culmination of all these things being unresolved to the point where they have a blow up. They have a moment. We really have to take this stuff into account because I think in today's society, it's almost as if we are desensitized to so many things, and a lot of these things are traumatic things. Traumatic experiences, things that should not be taking place to these people, but they do. Or it's passive aggressive, or people being too sensitive to any and everything someone says to them, and they immediately go to fight or flight. There is middle ground in this. In being able to handle these situations and use conflict, resolution skills to get up out of this or to be better is just one of those tools. Just one. Like, share, definitely subscribe to them. This is Big Red Leads. Have a great day. I know this message will help somebody. Maybe you do need to speak to a professional. But being angry because someone did something that you just don't agree with, or your ego has been bruised, is not a reason to take it to the highest level, which is fighting. It's just not. Love you all. Talk soon. Have a great day, my friends.